right, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, that works. Woo. And welcome to our session, MAE202, CBS Sports Digital, Innovation in the Cloud with the Golazo Network. I'm Steph Malone. I'm the global leader here for solution architecture for the Media and Entertainment Industry Business Unit, and I'm joined today by Corey Smith. He's our Senior Director of Advanced Production Technologies at CBS Sports, and Vince Palazzo, the Senior Solutions Architect for M&E for AWS. So give him a big round of applause. All right, so today I'm just going to give a quick intro about AWS for M&E and some trends in media and entertainment. Then next, Vince is going to join me and give an overview about CBS Sports, about their live cloud production journey, and the business opportunity that was ahead of CBS. And I'm going to turn it over to Corey, who's going to talk about the Golazo Network. He's going to provide a system overview and talk about where they're going next. And lastly, I'll come back up and wrap it up. All right. Awesome. So our mission at AWS for M&E is to transform the media and entertainment industry with the most purpose-built capabilities and partner solutions of any cloud. And we do this by aligning to 6 solution areas and hiring industry expertise to help our customers transform their on-premise or outdated architectures and reinvent how they create content, optimize media supply chains, and how they compete for audience attention across streaming, broadcast, and direct-to-consumer platforms. So let's talk real quickly about what makes up these solution areas. There's content production. So this is about transforming capture, like camera to cloud, for workloads like pre-production, production, and post-production, for tasks like editing, visual effects, color finishing, and grading. We have media supply chain. This is media management and orchestration. Things like ingest, media processing, quality control, rights and data management, and archive. In broadcast, it's about transforming linear distribution, playout, live cloud production, and newsroom production. Direct-to-consumer and streaming. Here we focus on consumer experience, streaming media solutions, intelligent operations and security, and aspects of D2C monetization. And data science and analytics. And that's really targeting data management, media intelligence, content generation and transformation, personalization, sports performance analytics, and aspects of smart venues for music, sports, and live events. And then last but not least, the 6th solution area, which we launched back in September at IBC, which is monetization, and that covers our advertising technology, subscription management, content licensing, and customer 360. Okay. AWS offers the most purpose-built media and entertainment capabilities of any cloud, and we do this by having 9 AWS services that span everything from creation, like Nimble Studios and ThinkBox Deadline, to contribution all the way through to distribution, with products like Media Live, Media Convert, Media Connect, Media Package, and CloudFront. Or you can have a customer use Amazon IVS as a full contribution all the way through to player solution. We also have AWS dedicated appliances like Elemental Live and Elemental Link. Excuse me. We have an AWS Solutions library, and this is a collection of cloud-based solutions of dozens of technical and business problems vetted for you by AWS. Excuse me. Our 11 AWS solutions can be found on the website here, where the QR code is, and you can find both AWS and partner solutions in all 6 of the solution areas. And there are a few key benefits of using our solutions library. The one-click launch. You can launch a fully tested and vetted solution starter kit into your AWS account in just one click. And these solutions are all vetted and done through the AWS well-architected framework, reflecting our AWS best practices. And that should save you time and expense the resources required to develop a solution from the beginning. This also helps you accelerate monetizing your content. But these solutions are also customizable, so they can be changed and helped expand for your company's business needs. Okay, and lastly, we have a large partner network with more than 500 AWS partners, with names that you know and love, like Evertz, Grass Valley, VizRT, Brightcove, Amagi, Edgio, and many more partners who you work with every day, and they are all in various stages of their cloud journey. So with AWS, you can select the right tools and partners for your M&E workloads to accelerate production launches and see faster time to value. So I'm going to talk a little bit here about some broadcast trends that we see. In PwC's most recent report, Perspectives from the Global Media and Entertainment Outlook for 2023 to 2027, live sectors have returned to growth and are poised to actually outperform the M&E industry at large. Taking into account all live event subsectors in the consumer space, pre-pandemic levels will be reached in 2024 when revenue will total $68.7 billion, and that's up from 2019 where it was $66.6 billion. AWS is the leading choice for global broadcasters like Paramount, Fox, and Discovery, with over 3,500 channels worldwide originating from the AWS cloud. So through our direct discussions with our customers and through our voice of the customer field surveys, we found that broadcasters are focused on these key areas. First off, cost optimization. Our customers have been unlocking their massive archives to provide more content for video on-demand catalogs, as well as acquiring more sports rights, like we're soon about to hear, to live stream their content to millions of viewers. And because of this proliferation of content, our customers are looking for low to no CapEx implications when they launch new products and services. They want to eliminate the undifferentiated heavy lifting. Oops, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. They wanted to, So they want to align their workload cost models and their service revenues, and that's easier to do with a pay-as-you-go model. They want to be able to use gold-plated software and architectures for gold-plated services and high-revenue implication services, like Tier 1 sporting events. But they also want to be able to have the flexibility to use other software or other architectures for services with lower revenue implications. So in other words, we want to align the right types of software and services with the cost of operations and keep that in line with the revenue expectations for your service. With scalability and agility, our customers need that ability to scale those resources up and down, to launch pop-up channels and support event coverage or marketing campaigns, to turn on production control rooms and tear them down and destroy them when they don't need them. And then they can quickly deliver content to new platforms and services to stay in front of the consumer's ever-changing eyeballs and their ever-changing needs and focus. And if that experiment that they do fails or a service or platform is no longer in favor, they've learned it very quickly, and they can easily pivot to another experiment or platform. And that speed of experimentation leads to a faster path to delivering true innovation. Sustainability, this has become an increasingly important trend for all of our customers. Excuse me. Utilizing resources only when you need them and releasing them when you don't changes the calculation of the carbon footprint of any workload. And broadcast engineers will tell you that they rarely, if ever, turn off equipment in their own data centers. AWS has a deep commitment to utilizing renewable energy resources, and our goal is to be powering our own operations with 100% renewable energy by 2025. We also have an AWS carbon footprint tool that helps measure the carbon impact of customer workloads running in AWS. All right, skills transformation. So this is critical. As customers start their journey, they recognize the need to focus on upskilling their staff, engineering, development, and operations, all across the board. AWS has comprehensive training available, including the first free industry badge for media and entertainment, focused on direct consumer and broadcast foundations in the cloud. And that was announced back in April at NAB. Our customers are also embracing automation and AI/ML. Machine learning can be used to perform content checks and validation in the broadcast operations centers to answer questions like, is the content on air what I expected? Right? Do we have the right language on the right audio channels? Right? It can look for black frames, extended black frames, slates. Companies are leveraging alarming and multi-viewer penalty boxes so that they can highlight problematic feeds so their operators can go and get quickly into the operator's attention. Oh, I'm sorry, the mouse doesn't quite work like I expected here. I'm a couple of slides ahead. Okay. All right. Sorry. Real-time geodiverse collaboration. This is like building a production or a broadcast operations team based on their talent, not on the location, and that's quickly becoming the norm. It reduces the need for infrastructure, as much infrastructure on site, as well as reducing the need for so many travel expenses. And then lastly, the software development velocity. So content owners, broadcasters, and independent service providers are looking for a way to innovate and transform their businesses. And some of our ISVs are a lot further along in the journey than others. Some of them are amidst their own transformation process, and they have to make a lot of software changes, like licensing that supports the granularity of that pay-as-you-go model. But at the same time, they also need to transform their revenue and their sales compensation models as the change from a larger CapEx-based sales move into smaller metered sales. But we have other ISVs, like other customers, that were born in the cloud, and they're able to actually deliver those products and service innovations without any burden of those transformational changes. So thank you for allowing me to do a couple minutes here on the broadcast trends and a little bit about AWS for M&E. I'm going to bring up Vince Palazzo next, who's going to talk a little bit about CBS Sports as our case study and a bit about their journey. So, okay.
Thank you, Steph.
Welcome. The mouse is tricky.
Hey everybody, I'm Vince Palazzo, Senior SA at AWS, supporting Paramount Global and CBS Sports. And for those of you who don't know who CBS Sports is the sports broadcasting division of CBS, which is a property of Paramount Global, one of the largest global media and entertainment companies in the world. Paramount Global has popular brands like CBS, Showtime, BET, Nick, MTV, and that's just to name a few, as well as world-class streaming services in Paramount Plus and Pluto TV. CBS Sports is a year-round leader in television sports and broadcasts a portfolio of events on the CBS television network, including the NFL, college football, including the SEC on CBS, college basketball, including March Madness, golf, and this is the Masters, PGA Championship, PGA Tour, and soccer, including UEFA Champions League, Serie A, and more. CBS broadcasts more than 70,000 hours of sports content annually and streams more than 1,000 live events annually. CBS Sports Digital platform has a multi-platform offerings, including CBSSports.com and the CBS Sports app for mobile and connected TV devices. Now, let's take a look at CBS Sports by the number. When it comes to the marquee events, CBS Sports has record-breaking viewership on a global scale. CBS Sports has broadcast rights to a number of marquee events that you all know and love, and this global reach has resulted in over 11 million viewers for the Masters, over 90 million viewers for the NCAA Division I March Madness tournament, and over 100 million viewers for the Super Bowl. And on February 11, 2024, CBS Sports and Paramount Plus will be broadcasting Super Bowl 58, which will take place across the street over at Allegiant Stadium and marks the first time in Las Vegas history for hosting the Super Bowl. Now, when it comes to linear digital playout, CBS Sports is the home of CBS Sports HQ, as well as the Golazo Network, both combined to engage more than 80 million users a month. From a distribution standpoint, Paramount Global is the home of the top-of-the-line services in Paramount Plus, which is their direct-to-consumer, digital subscription VOD, and live streaming service, which as of Q3 2023 has over 60 million subscribers. And they also have Pluto TV, which is the leading free streaming television service, which has over 78 million monthly active users. Now, as part of the CBS brand, CBS Sports Digital serves customers from preps all the way to pros, starting with the high school sports brand in Max Preps, a college subscription service in 24/7, and the flagship CBSSports.com, mobile apps, and the OTT services. There's also the 24/7 digital channel in CBS Sports HQ, as well as a free and premium fantasy offerings, as well as the gambling news and information subscription services in Sportsline. Now, across the CBS portfolio, they have fully migrated all of their brands and thousands of services into the cloud. This has been done through a few models, including lift and shift, hybrid, and fully native migrations. But as you're going to hear about a little more today, I want to briefly highlight some of the AWS services and edge services that are used to make up some of the CBS Sports video workloads, web, apps, and experiences. These services included managing global traffic and routing with Amazon Route 53 for web apps and experiences, using AWS media services such as Elemental Media Connect for secure and reliable media transport, all the way to EKS and EBS to power .com, HQ, and the Golazo Network. CBS Sports streams 35,000 live events per year and is able to do this due to the reliability and scalability of AWS. So video isn't the only place that CBS Sports excels in. Where sports is a dynamic and data-driven industry, where data is at the core of everything from scoring to fantasy to gambling. So with consumers expecting higher data quality and higher data speeds, this led to CBS Sports building out the CBS Sports Stats Lab, which they had engaged with AWS to help and iterate on a functional POC. Coming out of this engagement, CBS Sports data team built out a solution to enhance experiences using AWS AI/ML services such as Amazon Recognition, Amazon Personalize, and Amazon Transcribe to empower real-time win probability, personalization, image recognition, and captioning. Now, let's take a little look into the digital evolution of CBS Sports' journey on AWS. With production still being handled at a physical location, whether that was in a studio in Fort Lauderdale or Stanford or even at a stadium, the CBS Sports team began to remove the physical hardware for the encoding and started using web-based encoders such as Media Live, which gave them the ability to scale to those hundreds of events that you heard about. CBS Sports HQ, which is now in its 5th year, certainly kicked off this journey and played a huge role in the coverage of the Super Bowl in 2019, while setting viewership records for roughly 7.5 million unique devices. 2020 certainly turned the corner here with a large move to utilizing AWS to stream hundreds of events concurrently, and this move to the cloud allowed for infrastructure to be created dynamically and on demand. At the time, Super Bowl 55 was the most live-streamed NFL game ever, with an average minute CBS Sports audience of 5.7 million viewers. This is a 65% increase compared to the Super Bowl 2020. Super Bowl 55 was also the first NFL game in history to deliver more than 1 billion total streaming minutes. Now, moving into 2023, CBS Sports Digital evolved this workflow with revamped studios in Stanford as well as Fort Lauderdale to accommodate cloud-based master control and playout, which allowed for the environment they are connecting to be reliant, repeatable, and redundant. Now, if any of you out there have been following what CBS Sports and Paramount Global have been doing over the past few years, they have signed over a dozen soccer deals. From the late 1960s through the 1970s, CBS Sports had broadcast a handful of North American soccer league games, most famously showcasing the soccer legend Pelé to a US audience. Then it was a smattering of one-off high-profile matches until 2019, when it acquired the US rights to the UEFA club competitions, including a high-profile Champions League. And last August, CBS Sports extended those rights for another 6 years, going through 2030. Over the course of the last few years, CBS Sports acquired the rights to the National Women's Soccer League in 2020 and just renewed those rights this past October. And throughout 2021, acquired the rights to Serie A, Europa League, Europa Conference League, Asian Football Confederation, National Women's Soccer League, Scottish Premiership, and that's just to name a few. Adding to this impressive slate, just this past November, CBS Sports announced a multi-year deal with United Soccer League to air 100 USL matches annually through 2027 across their platforms. This now leads us to that business opportunity. With these rights acquisitions, CBS Sports and Paramount Plus are now offering a full portfolio of year-round live and on-demand soccer. This is more than 2,400 live soccer matches and over 145 national team associations across 5 different continents. Now, all of these new deals certainly created a tremendous opportunity for the business and left them to solve for how to monetize and build on the incredible momentum created over the past few years and deliver authentic, informative, engaging, and entertaining content across their multiple platforms. CBS Sports had the vision of being an always-on destination available 24/7 and delivering the latest news highlights and analysis, as well as live matches from around the world. This paved the way for the CBS Sports Golazo Network, which capitalized on the existing soccer rights by building free audiences around CBS Sports and Pluto TV, while driving new subscribers and enhancing the sports experience for Paramount Plus. This has truly made CBS Sports the destination for soccer fans across America. With that, I'd like to introduce Corey Smith, Senior Director, Advanced Production Technology at CBS Sports. Thanks.
How's everybody doing? Doing great, Corey. It's been quite a week, hasn't it? Before we get started, kind of a little show of hands. Who's actually aware of the Golazo Network or has actually seen it before coming to this presentation? A few people. Awesome. So the Golazo Network launched in April of 23, kind of in the midst of trying to get ourselves out of the pandemic and lockdown and stuff like that. We decided that we didn't want to build Golazo in a physical facility for PCR, MCR, that kind of thing. But we wanted to create it like it was in a facility. So Golazo in its first year will have over 450 live matches that have aired on the network. That is a ton of live traffic for a first-year network. This is an ad kind of supported network. There are sponsorship deals and that kind of thing that we have, but we do have the application or the Golazo Network is on CBS Sports, Pluto TV, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime Video, with a global reach, so to speak. Once we get to a point where we can open up digital rights from a global perspective, because soccer is an international sport, there's no limit to how much the network actually can grow. So going through kind of what Vince was talking about, the CBS Sports journey, we developed a lot of studio shows for the launch of the network. We started with 2, now we're up to 4 live kind of desk shows throughout the course of the day. The contribution is actually coming from our Stanford and Fort Lauderdale facilities. All of the rest of the infrastructure is actually 100% in AWS. That's the recording of the shows, the clipping, playout, distribution, captions are all done in cloud. So one of the challenges, or several of the challenges we had with kind of coming up with Golazo and what we wanted to do was how fast can we get it to market, right? We basically had about a 4-month burn rate on essentially building the infrastructure to support what we were going to do. We needed global contribution. We had to hire talent. We had to figure out, are we going to have any supply chain issues? Because it is 100% digital in AWS, we don't have any of the hardware ordering, the procurement process of that, any supply chain issues with hardware. So the ease of operations for us was really kind of getting our architecture under control and figuring out how we were going to bring both our talent in from a studio perspective and also the operators that are actually running the Golazo Network today. So the approach, global infrastructure, high availability, AWS is a partner there. Accelerate the business transformation. This is a brand new digital network. It's not kind of again, the ground-based operations. It's not a traditional kind of network, if you will. So after 50 or 60 years of this is how television is done, we really broke the mold on how we built Golazo. We're always trying to innovate, reduce costs, and improve our operations capabilities. Because we have remote access to all of our cloud infrastructure, we can pretty much hire talent, find talent of a wider group of, or more or less a wider pool of people we can hire. They don't actually have to be, say, in our physical facilities anymore. So we can hire talent to run our operations anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world. And we kind of pioneered this a little bit when I was at Activision Blizzard, which is kind of where a lot of this kind of cloud infrastructure stuff has been kind of born. I was part of the launch partnership with the Grass Valley for their AMP product as well. So it's come a long ways, and we're showing it that it can be done in the cloud. So from a global infrastructure standpoint, not only AWS regions, we're distributed in 5 AWS regions right now, and then the CBS locations you see, Nashville, Fort Lauderdale, New York, and Stamford, Connecticut. The network solutions that we have in play here, obviously, Grass Valley AMP is a key component of our ecosystem. It runs our playout, switching, routing, and recording. Our cloud router, if you will, this would be like a similar on-prem kind of, Grass Valley Envision router or any kind of Evert system. We deployed NetInsight's Nimbra Edge appliance in the cloud that helps us route all of our SRT traffic to and from both internally within AMP itself, out to our caption encoders, to our line records, et cetera. So it's a critical part of our application environment. We enabled AI captioning recently, or part of the network launch. So we're using AI Media's Lexi 3 AI captioning service, and that's all based in cloud as well. OpenDrives was another one of our critical partners. They actually run our storage systems in cloud, so we can do the real-time live write, clipping, playout, because we had a challenge where we needed to basically be able to clip the live shows as they're coming in and put those clips back into playout in an almost immediate kind of re-air scenario. And we couldn't do it on traditional S3 or anything like that. So, Golazo Network architecture. It's a lot to see. But when we break it down, reading from left to right, we have acquisition of signal, as you would typically have in a facility. We have the ability to acquire signal here through our AWS Direct Connects directly into our cloud environment. But then we also have a series of different acquisition technologies, mainly the Nimber Edge appliances sitting in our data centers across AWS, that can do direct acquisition of signals from our different socket partners, SCS, EBU, Aldea, the switch. So we're multifaceted in terms of how we can acquire the broadcast signal, how we can route it into our Grass Valley ecosystem, and then ultimately how we can record it, distribute it, put it into playout, and send it on its way. The pieces here, as you can see, NetInsight has the ingest and then the outputs. So everything in between is all Grass Valley amps. So every component on the network is essentially on the router. This Nimber Edge appliance is essentially a 500 by 500 matrix switcher sitting in cloud. In our core, inside of this whole layer here is all SRT. We do have some graphic systems and components, as you see down here kind of in the corner. Chiron, our lower third ticker that's in the broadcast, is all delivered into the ecosystem via NDI. So we deployed an NDI fabric across the ecosystem. So any NDI feed that checks in on that fabric can be then routed and assigned to any switcher in the environment. Because of the massive scale that we get with AMP and AWS, we have about 180 master control environments running in AWS today. In some cases, we'll have 32 soccer matches live on any given Thursday. The availability, the scale of what we built allows us to kind of move away from the scheduling problems that you would have in a typical facility. So anything that comes into the network can be assigned, routed to any one of those master control systems, and then sent back on its way to our distribution partners. This allows us huge flexibility, huge agility. So when we have issues, say, in a specific AWS region, we can actually fail over those services to any one of our other AWS regions. So Virginia gets clobbered with GPU capacity or availability problems, we just move those workloads to Dublin, or we move it to Oregon. So we're utilizing the cloud from a global geo perspective. To us, it's one giant data center. It's one giant environment. Any of those 5 regions, Oregon, Virginia, Dublin, Frankfurt, which is an acquisition kind of facility for European traffic, and São Paulo, Brazil, are all routable in cloud in real time. The distribution from here into the Lexi is basically we have a bank of essentially 10 Alta caption encoders running in cloud, and we can use the Nimber Edge appliance via SRT switching and routing to send traffic into those caption encoders. So we no longer need to capture on the ground. We no longer need to have transcriptionists at the high hourly rate to capture our content anymore. Lexi 3.0 is doing that for us with the Golazo Network. And obviously there's opportunity to move that same kind of AI captioning capability to other CBS properties like Sports HQ, CBS Sports Network, et cetera. So those are all conversations we're having. So, global workforce. We're in cloud. We can be anywhere. You can be at a Starbucks with a good internet connection and run the Golazo Network. Remote contribution. Again, we have facilities that produces our desk shows. There's 4 of them. There's actually a new show that we started introducing a couple months ago called Scoreline. Scoreline is actively, constantly updating, almost like a sports center type of model where every hour there's potentially new content because they're constantly coming back on the air and updating people on real-time scores and analysis of matches that are going on over the course of the day. Global operations and services, again, the ability to be agile, the ability to be modular, the ease of flexibility. So we wanted to create an environment where our operators could come from a traditional master control environment and that they weren't introduced to a new set of tools that they didn't understand or couldn't operate. So for the most part, all of our operators have master control backgrounds, but they can be anywhere in the country. They have been anywhere in the country. The interesting thing about the global services is that I don't have to spend the money for operators to live in Manhattan. I can hire a master control operator from a local TV station in Helena, Montana. So again, it opens up a lot of different optimizations in terms of total spend and cost for running and managing these networks. And AWS helps us kind of do a global scale. So these are where the network team is at, or my team in general. So the purple on the slide, those are all our master control operators. And they're typically working out of their houses, the apartments, whatever it happens to be. Sometimes their internet goes down, so we have multiple operators at any given time that can kind of jump in and take over. But for the most part, the model has worked out. And we've been able to prove that we can be very efficient in running our networks, even in a distributed kind of workforce model. You don't always have to be in the facility. Sometimes it's kind of nice to be able to go down the hall and shoulder tap somebody, but for the most part, we're running a network just like you would in a physical facility. We're on comms with the production folks. We're on Slack. So it's worked out really well. So my team is actually, my DevOps engineer is in Seattle. I'm in Orange County. My broadcast engineer is outside of Bakersfield. And my technical program manager is in Austin, Texas. And again, reaching back to the studios, we have routing capability from any of those sports facilities to our cloud-based environment so that any one of the facilities can spin up a desk show or any kind of like live produced content in a studio. Network results. From a global game plan perspective, we built this thing to be global. We built it not just for the United States. Soccer is, the world sport. And we're part of this game plan that we've come up with is as we launch additional digital linear networks, they're not fast channels. These things are switched live like you would in a facility. It's not just a VOD to live kind of workflow. These are active operators running it like it was a traditional television network. We can control our regional access, both from a geofencing perspective and whatnot. Our digital team on the other side that manage the client applications and the distribution do a very good job of making sure that we have the highest quality signal paths to and from our customers. We actually produce the Golazo feeds, the primary and backup feeds, go out at 30 megabits, 1080p, 5994. So we're ingesting high quality. We're frame rate converting on the things that come in, kind of in a, if it comes in 720 or if it comes in 25 or 50i, we standardize all that output for distribution so it's all consistent. And the operation efficiencies, because we're in AWS, we can turn it on and off. If we were in a physical facility running a rack of servers, they're on 24 hours a day. Video card pops, now you have to RMA one out, and then maybe you have an issue with hardware availability. So how long can that system be down? In our particular case, our model has been build as much automation and get the robots to work for us right? So any one of our regions, we can redeploy Nimbra Edge just by pushing a button. We can do the same thing with the AMP services as well. So we can pretty much clone those machines and spin them up, as needed. So what's next? Obviously, there's more digital linear networks coming. They're in planning mode. The idea that this is a footprint that we use as a reference for the future digital linear platforms that we're going to build, from a use case perspective, is worked out really well. We're also going to, obviously, workflow optimization is going to be another one of those key things. Like, how do we continue to drive the cost down, like operationally? At the end of the day, we don't want to destroy ourselves by deploying too much infrastructure and being kind of met with that kind of cost. So we're really looking to optimize and scale out our infrastructure and architecture in a reasonable way. And so being responsible from a financial operations perspective is very key to us, because this is how we're going to drive the additional conversations to spin up these other networks. If we're not efficient and the case wasn't going to be proved that we could do it in the cloud efficiently, then this story doesn't happen. So I'll bring Steph back up.
Thank you, Corey.
Sure.
Appreciate it. So not only has the Golazo Network added 3 new daily shows since they actually launched, which Kicking It, Attacking, Third, and Scoreline, right? They also had roughly 100 live matches over a dozen competitions in just the first 5 weeks. So really true testament to a great amount of resiliency in the systems and what Corey has built here. So just quickly wanting to give a recap here. Oh, sorry. So some key takeaways for you guys. Build for redundancy and resiliency. The way Corey's system is built, multi-regional, anything happens with the network, in one frame moving over to another network, right, in another region. Work and leverage the AWS Partner Network for economies of scale. They're working with Nimbra, they're working with Grass Valley, a lot of different partners involved in the mix. Iterate, right? Test and iterate. Your ability to scale and build out architectures that you can use globally, or you can quickly add new services or new shows to. That's really important and key. And then lastly, leverage that distributed resource model, that global model, and get your operations from anywhere and base it again on the talent and not on the location. All right, so with that, I want to thank Corey. So applause to Corey. And I want to thank Vince for both their time and their insights today. So, and at AWS here, we're a data-driven company, so as such, I would truly appreciate if you go in, your opinion matters for us to be able to build out additional content for you. And so there was a survey, I think, in the mobile app, so I would just please ask that you guys fill out the survey. I do have all of our QR codes up here, so if you want to get in touch with any of us, that would be great. I will also leave up here the M&E sessions here at reInvent for those who are interested in additional M&E sessions to attend. And I do have the 2 QR codes up here for those who want to get a little more information about either the Solutions Library or that M&E free industry digital badge that I mentioned earlier. So with that, Corey, Vince, and I are actually going to stay down here in the front of the floor, and we'll answer questions offline and off the video. So, all right, thank you all very much.